What's up, Kenny? Not too bad. How's life as a blue belt?
Oh, dude, it's a new experience, but I'm feeling more bold than ever before.
People look at you differently, don't they?
It's a different story for sure.
You certainly come up one notch in my book. You're at notch number one.
Smitty's been talking. Smitty's been talking all day about how he thinks he can take you as a one-stripe white belt. You think that's true?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Smitty's a pretty strong guy.
Give him a lot of credit.
I used to be strong. Now I'm brittle.
So you, what was that like? What was the promotion? Tell us about it.
So yesterday I went in. So I do privates too. So I work privately with two coaches at Henzo's, and yesterday I went in for a private just to go over some stuff that like I was fucking up on last week, just to really dial it in because I'm a huge fan of kind of practicing what you preach and buying the shit you sell, right? You can't sell something you don't buy yourself. So like when I'm trying to get better at jiu-jitsu, obviously I'm going to work one-on-one with somebody who knows a lot more than I do. So yesterday I went in, we were working on some like pretty high level technique stuff that they were showing me. And then later that night, my coach is like, well, make sure you come back tonight and get some rounds in because we'll do like an hour and a half of just like, we'll do like maybe 20 or 30 minutes worth of drilling. And then we'll do like 10 rounds, 10 5-minute rounds. So after we were done, I was laying in the back, I was kind of stretching out. And he's like, oh, we got a blue belt promotion tonight. And I got up to the front of the room and he whacked me with the belt. And he's like, he goes, matches are just going to get harder from here on out. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, that's so cool. So I've been flying high for the past like 12 hours. I was just like, fuck, I can't.
So you didn't expect it at all?
I wasn't expecting it at all because, last week or 2 weeks ago, I was with my other coach and he's like, you got a lot of little things you need to work on here and there. But like my takedown game is pretty good. I like to play a top game. I'm definitely not a bottom player at all. I'm not used to being on my back because of wrestling.
Yeah.
I wrestle all through high school and college. So it's like it gives me confidence in the stand up and then like kind of playing the top game. So for me, I don't really practice a lot on my back and I need to. I need to start doing that more. But and that's some of the shit they have me working on.
So how long you been rolling?
So out of college, I started doing. I went to Henzo's for about a year and a half, 2 years, and I did 2 tournaments right away. And the first one I won, and then the second one, I almost got my fucking ankle taken off my leg. Yeah, and I was like, and I couldn't walk for like 3 weeks.
I thought they didn't allow ankle locks for white belts.
So the thing was, I was doing no-gi.
Okay.
At a no-gi Naga tournament, and this was like 10 years ago. So after you win your first level, like in the no-gi stuff, it's like doesn't go by belts. It's like beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So after you win the beginner one, you can't go into any more beginner ones. So I was in like an intermediate bracket, and I think you can do ankle locks there. So this guy, this guy right away dropped down and put me in a fucking, I don't even know what the hell it was. So I stopped for a while because I got really into CrossFit and powerlifting and weightlifting. I mean, this is, 13 years ago, maybe 14 years ago. And I stopped ever since. And then during COVID, I started getting into Muay Thai a little bit more. I was really getting involved in that. And then a couple of the guys were like, dude, you should try Jiu Jitsu again. And I was like, I don't want to fucking try something else. And I started doing it and fell in love with it all over again. And it's been since I started, like I took a class at the end of March, maybe 2 classes in April. And then come May, it's just like I've been fucking full on. So May, June, July, August, September, I've just been like, hitting it from all ends.
Have you been going like every day, or what are we talking?
I'm doing like 4 to 5 days a week consistently.
Wow.
And then I do privates once to twice a week, sometimes even 3 if I can't get into class at night. And then I'll do class 4 to 5 times a week. So I went, what's today, Tuesday? So I went twice yesterday. I'll go tonight. I'll go tomorrow. I'll do a private on Thursday because I'm going out to Swiss on Thursday. And then I probably won't get back till like, if I could get back in time on Sunday. Actually, no, Saturday, I'm going to fly. If everything works out, I'm going to fly out early from Swiss. and I'm flying to Philly because what's his name? You ever hear of the brand Fuel Hunt?
Yes. Yeah.
So Fuel Hunt sponsors Nicky Rod, and they're doing this special event down in Philly. This like 4 hour, 5 hour jujitsu clinic. And my buddy, the guy who owns Fuel Hunt, is a friend of mine. I met him years ago. He's like, dude, if you make your way to Philly, he goes, your ticket's on me. He's like, I'll comp your ticket and stuff. So I was thinking about flying out early for that. I'm going to see how everything goes at Swiss, but I'm definitely going to be out there Thursday, Friday. So that's
Sweet.
hoping to.
Are you bringing a gi?
I mean, could we go anywhere there? I was going to go work out with what's his name early in the morning, 4 a.m. If you guys want to go.
Who's that, Dave?
Corey G.
Oh,
Corey Gregory.
yeah. Where's that?
So
It's in Columbus, right?
he lives like 30 minutes outside Columbus. So last time I was out there for the Arnold, I got up in the morning with him and we worked out at like 4:30 in the morning. This guy's a fucking.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, he's an animal. So I'm probably going to go work out with him. I actually got to hit him up. I'm going to work out with him probably Friday morning, just so I get it in before the day. And I want to really kind of absorb as much as I can during that day. I'm really pissed because I really want to see what's the old man's name from Toronto, the back specialist.
Oh, McGill?
McGill. Yeah, I really want
Yeah.
to see McGill talk, and he's talking on Saturday, which I'm pissed about. So I might, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to decide on what the hell I'm going to do. See, when you don't have any kids in everything, your life revolves around you. So I get to do what the fuck I want.
Yeah.
Well, how is your training navigating around your jujitsu? Like, if you're at jujitsu 5 times a week, what's going on with your training?
So I work out with my clients a lot of times. So I have clients who I see either in the morning or in the afternoon, and I'll just work out with them. I try not to, hit the gas pedal too hard because I know I'm going to do a good hour to an hour and a half worth of conditioning when I go to jiu-jitsu. So I've dialed back the running and the kind of rowing and biking and a lot of the CrossFit type stuff. So I stopped a lot of that stuff because I'm getting it during jiu-jitsu, and it's like I really wouldn't be able to eat as much as I need to.
Yeah.
If I'm doing all this shit. But I'll break up body parts. Like yesterday I did chest and tris. Today I'll do some back and bis. Tomorrow I'll do maybe some, just some kettlebell stuff, some kettlebell strength stuff. And then Thursday I'll do like a shoulders and arms day. And then Friday, because I have the skinniest fucking arms and I try to hit them 2 to 3 times a week and it still doesn't work. And then Friday, I'll do like some plyometrics type stuff. I'll do a lot of like the landmine coiling stuff. I really enjoy that. And then Saturday, I'll kind of just go for like a long walk. If I could get to jiu-jitsu, I will, but most of the time, and I'll do like Muay Thai here and there, right? I've kind of dialed back some of the Muay Thai because I just don't have the hours in the day.
Right?
Yeah. Not to mention your joints start. I mean, with me, the more I do with jiu-jitsu, I feel like the less, like the volume directly is inverse with my strength training. Just because like when you're really hitting it 4 or 5 days, if you're live rolling each time, man, it catches up with your joints.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I definitely feel it. It's like the first couple months, my fucking hands were constantly killing me.
Right.
Yeah.
I got armbarred twice now. So once like 4 months ago, 3-4 months ago, and then once about 3 weeks ago. And just 2 guys in practice just fucking cranked my fucking arm. And I go, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, I never do that to people. I'm never like aggressive with finishes, right? Like even last night, I got somebody and I'll like slowly put it in. And because for me, like I'll tap pretty quick because I'm like, I'm not trying to, if I can't fight out of it, I'm just like, here, tap, I'm out.
100%.
We're practicing and I'm fucking 40 and you're 25, dude. I'm not trying to prove anything. I don't have some fucking little dick syndrome where I got to try to fight you off or like hurt somebody. So like there are some guys where I'm just like, why are you cranking my fucking arm? Like I would tap out, So, and then people respect that. Like I like rolling with guys who aren't trying to fucking prove a point. Most of the guys I like to roll with, especially when you get into like, you deal with guys who are like purple belts and blue and brown belts and stuff. Like they tend to be older guys. Everybody's like 30 plus. They're not just handing out fucking belts at Henzo's. You see most of the black belts. I mean, there's no one with a brown or black belt who's under fucking 40.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what I told Smitty when he started. Was he was worried about rolling with some of the higher level belts? I'm like, no, dude, it's the opposite. Yeah, you don't want to roll with like the D1 football player that's a white belt, or just people that can't control their own body weight even. That's where you really have to worry.
Yeah, I stay away from the new white belts because they're so spazzy and they're going so hard, and their technique is kind of lacking. So, you're put in these bad positions, or they'll try to crank a submission if they think they got it. So, rolling with higher level belts, they know how to temper it. They know how to let you work, but also get some work in. So
100%. Like that's where they like kind of practice their fucking hot shot moves and shit on like newer guys. Like I'd rather roll with the higher belt guys because one, I'm learning, and two, I don't have to worry as much because they're not trying to fucking kill you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm curious.
They're like, sometimes I told a kid last night, like this purple belt I was rolling with, he's like a fucking praying mantis. He just like catches you and slowly creeps up your body, and then you're like, all right, I didn't even see this coming.
Yeah.
Well, how are your practices at JITS laid out? Because you're saying you're doing 10 5-minute rounds. Is your instruction like 15 minutes or how long?
Yeah, they'll do pretty quick instruction. They'll go over like a takedown, and then whether we're going either top or bottom, they'll kind of show a couple submissions or some movements through that, and then the higher level, their advanced classes at Henzo's are pretty good, where you're getting a couple rolls and you're doing at least 5, 6, 7 rolls, so, and then on like Fridays we'll do like sometimes 10. But we're getting a lot of rolls and we're getting a lot of opportunity to like mix it up a little bit. That's where you kind of learn, and like the coaches are really good about going around and watching what you're doing, so then they can correct those things when you when you try it again. So
that's cool. These are 10 straight rounds, or are you at a gym where you have to kind of cycle in?
No, you'll do like a 5. You could opt out if you want, but they tell you to like kind of stay in as much as you can. Higher belt guys, they kind of opt out, but like they'll do 5 minutes on, 3 to 4 minutes off. Like find a new partner, kind of catch your breath, grab a water, and then do another round. Yeah, so they'll give you some time between rounds. So it's not like one right after the other.
So we have the big announcement of the blue belt. Congratulations. That's
Thank
amazing.
You very much.
And Obi and I were definitely talking about it and very proud of you. The other thing we're proud of you on is Strong New York. So what is Strong New York and why should we be there?
Strong New York is the tri-state area's one and only health and wellness, or fitness and wellness, whatever you want to consider it, expo. I wanted to service this area. I mean, this is where I grew up. This is where I live. This is, has been my home since I was a kid. And I wanted to bring all the stuff that I get to do all around the world and all around the country to my area, right? Like I went to FIBO this year. I went to the Arnold. I've been to Summer Strong. I've been to Swiss event. I've been to LA Fit Expo. I've been to FitCon. I've been to all these awesome events all over the country and all over the world. And I was like, well, we should have one here in New York. And if you're going to sell a high-end product, an expensive piece of equipment or a piece of gear, well, most of the time, the people who have disposable income to buy expensive, cool shit like that are people in LA and people in New York and maybe Miami as well. But, New York still has the most. I mean, it was just in the Wall Street Journal. It was like New York still is the number one place for millionaires and billionaires to live, right? It has more millionaires and billionaires than anywhere else in the world. So I was like, all right, well, why don't we have a high-end type of expo in New York City? And I wanted it to be more interactive. I love bodybuilding. I love jiu-jitsu. I love CrossFit. I love all these aspects of health and wellness, but I wanted it to be something that represents what New York fitness is. So I have some of the top studios in New York, a yoga studio, a HIIT training studio, a boot camp studio, a dance studio, teaching classes. They're half-hour sessions. You get to kind of get exposed to like what these brands are and who they are. So when you're in New York, you can kind of check them out. And they're all very unique to New York. They don't exist anywhere but New York. And then I have a lot of the health food brands around here. I have the Honey Brain, which is a restaurant. They have like 3 or 4 health spots around the city. I have a salad place, Soma Salads, which is like unique to New York. We have a acai bowl place. We have a taco truck. We have a burger spot. I might even throw in some fucking pizzas in there just for like the after party. But I wanted it to be a very New York centric event that had a little bit of health and wellness, has this lifestyle. I have a tattoo artist coming. I have a woman doing hair braiding. I got a guy doing shape ups. We have people doing Botox, massages. We have Theragun doing a whole recovery lounge. We have a pickleball court. We have cold plunges. We have, I just want it to be this like really cool experience. It's like all the shit that you see on social media that, I mean, even if you have a cold plunge, where the fuck are you going to put it? Your roof, right here in New York. So it's one of those things. It's like I partnered with a bunch of companies around here. So like if you buy a VIP package to the event, you get 3 pretty cool, unique experiences if you're coming here from somewhere outside of New York. There's it's called Rise New York. So it's kind of like basically a little like roller coaster through Times Square. It's this event space, and it kind of takes you through the history of New York. There's the Edge, which is like the highest lookout tower in the country. That's in Hudson Yards. And then there's the Bathhouse, which is a sauna, steam room, cold plunge kind of lounge. Hangout spot. It's more like a no, I don't want to say a club, but it's more like a recovery place where you could go for the day. So if you buy the VIP package, you get those 3 entries for the day for free. You could go check those out if you're here for the weekend. I wanted it to be a very cool New York centric experience right around the holidays where people are looking for an excuse to come to New York, and now you can do something more health and wellness centric around that. And we have a ton of giveaways. We're working with Garmin. We're working with Gatorade. We have Celsius. We have, I got Conor McGregor striking coach. I got Mitchell Hooper, who just won the World's Strongest Man. He's going to be teaching a lifting seminar. I got Torminski doing a weightlifting seminar. So if you're interested in anything from like dancing to yoga to CrossFit, we'll have some version of it there. And they're all going to be quick little bangers. Like on the main stage, it's all like, not long, hour-long talks. I want it to be more for, for the general public. It's like, yeah, you'll get a fitness enthusiast and stuff and people within the industry, but I wanted it to be more for the general public so they could learn what they should be doing instead of like questioning your trainer or hearing all this noise on social media about you should eat this, you should do that, you should do this, you should do. It's like now you could hear it from the experts. So we'll have like 10, 15-minute TED Talks. We'll have all these workouts going on. This year is the first year we're doing kids classes, so I'm interested to see how that goes. I'm really excited about it because most of my friends and family have kids, and they're like, well, I got to find a babysitter. I'm like, just take them with you, and we'll have gymnastics classes. My buddy who was in the 2008 Olympic Games for gymnastics, men's gymnastics, he's going to be teaching a gymnastics class. I have the guys from Henzo's doing a kids introduction to grappling type of class. We'll have an open mat session. It'll be cool. So there's something for everybody there.
Do you have a team? I mean, I'm just thinking about all these things, and you're talking about doing jujitsu and training. Like, how are you?
So basically what I do is I kind of section it out and section it off and kind of let the professionals do what they need to do. I have a team of, it's me, Christy. I have a designer. I have 2 other ladies who work for, one of them works for Amazon. The other one works for Bloomingdale's, and they do events and all this stuff. And then my buddy owns a marketing company that they put on events. So he helps me put the whole thing together. But then 2 of my clients who work at these other companies, they know how to kind of organize this stuff. And then Christy's really good at organization. She's really on top of that stuff. So we put people in place to be like, all right, listen, you're in charge of making sure people come on and off the stage when they need to. You're kind of your run of show on this stage and your run of show on this stage. And we kind of just keep the ball rolling. But when I tell the guy, when I went over to Henzo's and I talked to them, I was like, hey, I'd love for Henzo to kind of teach a little kind of open mat session where people could kind of roll around and stuff and then do a kids class. They're like, oh yeah, well, he teaches a kids class. I'm like, all right, well, he's got a half hour on the mats. You could take as few or as many kids as you want and throw them on the mat and, kind of go through them. Obviously make sure nobody gets hurt. Job number 1. But other than that, just make sure they have a good time, teach them something, make it fun, and then get everybody off the mats. And then that's kind of how everything rolls. So we want to have these workout sessions and different sessions where people kind of, if they like it, then go to that studio and spend the money and support that business. Like that's basically what it all is. It's a chance for these businesses to meet the people they need to meet because they want to bring in new business, and it's for these people who are looking for somewhere to go to improve their health and wellness. Introduce them to the best places they might not know exist.
So what is the why do this? Why, like, what's the payoff for you? It seems like you enjoy the coordination of bringing people together, and
Yeah.
every time I see you on Instagram, you're everywhere, and I love that about you. It's really inspiring, but there's always a risk that you're taking on with something like this. So what's your goal with Strong New York?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the risk is I put up money every year and the chance of failure is always fucking pretty high. So you just try to minimize that. For me, it's like, it's something I love. It's kind of a passion project. It started years ago because I wanted to share all this stuff that I get to see with, at the end of the day, it's like, what's the point of having fucking money if you have nobody to spend it with? It's the same thing. It's like my riches. I don't have physical cash, but I'm rich in friendships and network. And, the people who are doing me favors for these events, Gunnar Peterson, Don Saladino, Gabrielle Lyon, a lot of these people that I've gotten to meet over the years have so much value and so much knowledge, in my opinion. I had Joe speak 2 or 3 times at it. I'm like, these are the best guys in the fucking business. And I want people to know them, learn from them. It builds their network. It's my way of giving back. And like, listen, if I can make a couple bucks off it, great. If I don't, I really haven't made any money off this fucking thing yet.
Yeah.
Because even today, it's like, yesterday we did a walkthrough for the event and they were like, well, you should have a TV up here so we can install that. And then we'll do some uplighting over here. And then we need another switchboard for music over here. So my original bill just for staging and lighting and all that shit was 18,000, and all the other shit that they just put in comes out to like 25.5. So it's like, all right, fuck it. Sure. Put it in because it'll elevate the experience, so I'm in for another 7 fucking G's on that. And then, we partnered with Hit the City Harvest. It's kind of like I never had a wedding or don't plan on having one anytime soon. So I'm like, all right, let me plan this thing because this will just be more fun for everybody. No, I think it does add value to people's lives. I truly believe that it will improve people's lives. I've never had, knock on wood, no one's ever walked away from this being like, oh my God, what a complete fucking waste of money, or it wasn't worth it. Like I want people to come and, my whole thing was like, all right, I went to Comic-Con last weekend. I went to the Food and Wine Festival. I went to the New York City Coffee Festival. Fashion Week happens. Restaurant Week happens. There's all this celebration around every other industry. Why wouldn't we try to do this around fitness? I go, if 225,000 people will show up to the Javits Center to look at fucking comic books, then I could get 5,000 people to show up and work out.
Yeah.
That's the way my brain works. I don't know why. Maybe it's broken for some reason. But I'm like, if all these people are so into reading fucking comic books, it's the same story told since 1965. You're not really retelling the Batman story. It's with a different actor and but it's the same fucking thing. His parents died. He's kicking the shit out of everybody, and he's going to win at the end. But people are still obsessed with it. So it's the same thing. It's like I'm trying to bring people together. I think loneliness is the one thing that plagues everyone, right? People do crazy shit, shoot up fucking schools or, mug people and attack people on the street because they're lonely. They just think about it. If they had somebody being like, hey, that's kind of a fucking stupid idea. Maybe you shouldn't go do that. Then they probably wouldn't do stupid shit. So the more people who are, working on themselves and improving their own health and wellness and well-being will attract more people, and there will be less loneliness and less animosity.
Do you think some of that's social media? I think a lot about that where it's kind of like a city. Like you go to New York City, you become so desensitized to the people around you. Whereas I live in the middle of nowhere. Like if you see someone on your street, they probably live near you and you're going to probably go out and talk to social media to me feels kind of like that, where it's like brought this like town square to everyone's, palm. And, there's like this scarcity thing too, where like even coming up and going to seminars with Smitty, like back in, the early, I would say maybe 2010, we were doing a ton of seminars, and everyone had their physical businesses where it didn't feel like you were competing. But now that everyone's like online and doing online programs, it almost feels like in the fitness space, everyone looks at every other person in that space as like a competition. So it seems like there's been a decline in the things like what you're doing, like bringing people together.
Yeah. And that's what I think is so stupid. It's like, at the end of the day, COVID was a perfect example for me to like articulate what the way I feel about it. I've been offered to do online programs. I was working with a company down in Texas through the pandemic, and I fucking hated it. I just don't want to sit behind a computer. I've been offered other positions at other companies to do like online shit, and I refuse to do it. I think fucking most of the online programs and stuff like that, unless you're getting it from a direct coach who's really tailoring the workouts to you, like a lot of these like bullshit apps and stuff, and like sitting on a Peloton bike, I think it's so there's so many other better things you could do. It's like go out there, meet people, be around people. It's like I think the number one thing that people are missing is human connection. So that's why, one, I wanted to do this event, and two, that's what I stick to, right? There are people who live in my neighborhood who are looking to do primarily strength training work, and there's no other gym in my area. So I'm servicing my community. It's so fucking stupid and small-minded, and it's that scarcity mentality that people are think they have to compete with somebody. Like I have 25 people signed up for my class tonight at 6:30, and in that class, like everyone, you guys know just as well as I do. I don't need to tell you guys this shit, but it's like everybody's going to squat differently. And if I have all 25 of these people doing an online program with me, and they're at Crunch Gym or fucking Blink Fitness or Equinox doing these workouts, they're all going to be squatting wrong. They're all going to be fucking doing something wrong. They're all going to have 1,000,001 questions. Why don't you just pay the extra fucking couple bucks? Come see me in person and I'll help you. Just like most coaches should be doing. It's like if you're going to call yourself a fucking trainer and you're not training people in person, you're kind of missing the mark. It's like me calling myself a doctor, but I never really operated on anybody, or I'm an attorney, but I've never really been in a fucking courtroom before. It's so stupid to me. It's like people don't treat training the way it should be treated. It's like you should have the more serious you take yourself, or more seriously you take yourself, the more seriously people are going to take you. So it's like when you treat your business like a real business, then it becomes something different. Stop handing out mass programming of bullshit that you've been recycled for 100 other people, and really work with somebody, really get them better. Because then you're playing the long game. You're not playing the short game. It's not like, here, take this and go fuck off with it, and then I'll charge you $200, but that's the last you're ever going to see of that person. You want to build like real value into what you're doing, and that's what I do. And it's like I've had people be like, I'll buy online programs from you. It's like there are a few people that I'll do it for, but for the most part, I'm like, I'd rather you come see me in person. And when people ask me to do like online, oh, will you do a fucking virtual session with me? I'm like, yeah, it's $800. And they're like, you're out of your mind. I was like, yeah, that's how much it would cost for me to sit there and watch you do fucking kettlebell swings on the other screen. I don't want to do it.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think there's a point to be made with the fitness industry in that like the whole marketing thing behind online programs is selling you a solution to not the real problem. Like all you have to do is look on Facebook Marketplace and see how many Peloton bikes are for sale. Like no one uses it. How many people have a foam roller, a treadmill in their house that has dust collecting on it? Like that's not the problem. People know they could do something at home, but that's not it. Like you're saying, like loneliness is the biggest, obstacle to adherence, because people are alone at their jobs. They're disconnected from people. They don't want to go in their guest bedroom and work out alone, at the end of a long day. Like they want to come together with a community and meet people and then go out for a beer after and things like that. And that's what I love. Like, you're a real dude in this industry who you are opening a facility despite the negative consequences of that, because people all the time assume that if you open a gym, you're just going to make millions of dollars. And obviously, like if you want to make money, fitness is not the right, profession for you. Like you have to be someone that really enjoys bringing people together and actually helping them in other areas of their life,
Yeah, 100%. And listen, I said this, I think I said this the last time we were on the podcast, but people ask me all the time, why'd you open a gym during the pandemic? Like I signed a lease in March of 2021 when New York was still kind of shut down. And I go, listen to me. since the dawn of time, we've realized that capital punishment across the globe, not just in America, around the world, the worst thing you could do to a human being is put them in isolation. Leave them alone by themselves, and that's the worst thing you could do to somebody. Most people would rather fucking be killed than be put in a fucking room by themselves, because it's scientifically proven that the brain starts to atrophy after 48 hours of no human contact with another person. So your brain starts atrophy, you start to go fucking nuts. You feel like shit. You don't want to be around. You start to get depressed, and 100 things go wrong when you're alone. Now you're voluntarily locking yourself in your fucking apartment, especially here in New York, where the average apartment is maybe 500 square feet. It's not like you're in fucking South Dakota and you got a 4-bedroom fucking house to yourself. You're in New York City, you have 500 square feet. You're going to ride your Peloton in your kitchen on top of your fucking counter while you're watching fucking old reruns of Sex in the City. And, you got your dog right underneath your bike and you're kicking it in the face while you're riding the stupid bicycle. It's the stupidest thing. Get out there, meet people, stop being so goddamn lonely. Like, get involved with other people. It's hard. Like anything else that's worth a shit, it's hard to make real connection. I think that's what people are really missing, is that deep connection. It's like you could have fringy friends that you go out with and have drinks with. There's people you work with that you really don't want to get involved with because everybody's so goddamn sensitive these days that everybody wants to write somebody up, or it's sexual harassment if they looked at you the wrong way or said something the wrong way. So you're like very weary of people you work with. Then it's hard to meet people to start a real relationship with them. And even when you do, you're like, I'm kind of just settling for this. It's like, go out, meet people who kind of share the same idea. I want to be fit. I want to eat right. I don't want to have the only outlet in my world to be going out to a bar and drinking. I need to do something else. So I want to provide that something else for people. I want people to be like, hey, I'm coming to the event with 3 of my girlfriends or 3 of my friends, and we're going to fucking work out all day and hang out and meet other people who kind of share the same idea. And maybe I'll get an idea in my head that I could do more than I'm currently doing. I really believe it's going to improve people's day to day. Even if you leave there, like I've been to Tony Robbins, I've been to a ton of shit before, man. And like you leave there feeling better. And if you have more opportunities to go to these things where you're like, hey, it's not going to last a year or fucking 6 months, but even if the last 4 or 5 days and lights a fire under your ass to go start a new business or to meet somebody new or to get out there more. Like there's a lot of times I don't want to leave my apartment, but I'm like, I know if I leave, I'm going to go do something. I'm going to do something that's worthwhile more than me just sitting around my apartment.
Yeah, I think fitness was the glue to society, not to overstate our role in this, but during that whole thing, like gyms were so important because it was all anyone had. Everyone was sent home. They're working from home. And I feel like, that like a lot of coaches are like you're a dreamer, and people will pay to be around people like you, even if they're not getting a workout out of it. So it's just that energy. Yeah. You are the light of their day, obviously you know that, but I think like that's exactly what kind of kept the country together. Not that everyone was working out, but a lot of people we saw did start working out during that time. They had nowhere else to go,
Well, yeah, and plus it's like, this thing was like, well, if you don't start improving your health and wellness, you're going to fucking drop dead of this disease and this virus. So people are like, oh shit, maybe I should start doing it. Like the amount of fat bastards I saw walking around the track in New York City trying to get a workout and be like, oh, I guess I should start working out now because the fucking God's telling me I'm going to die if I don't. But the amount of people I also had reach out to me on social media or, text message or old clients of mine. Oh, I finally realized my real passion is fitness. It's like, it's everyone's real passion. Everybody feels better when they fucking move. You're not unique. It's not something new. How many fucking idiots do you know? Like, I know so many people who are like PR people or worked in accounting who are like, I really started working out during COVID, and I've realized that this is what my calling has been. It's like, no, you just feel good doing it like everyone else does. It's just so hard to get you moving, No one finishes a workout and goes, oh, fuck, I shouldn't have done that.
I'm going to go back to accounting. Yeah.
So who do you think is your biggest inspiration? You have that energy, you connect people, you love hanging out with your friends, you love people. Like who in your life was it? Like your mom or your dad, they always had friends over, or where
he's Italian.
Yeah.
My dad, Italian way.
Yeah, my parents have always been very pro, like, oh, have your friends over. Like they always have people over. Like Friday, Saturday nights, we were either all at like a family friend's house or people were at our house. There was always fucking people in the house. Like my grandmother, my aunt, my cousins, we were always super close. My dad would never turn anybody away. He always wanted more people there. Like when we would have like wrestling matches and stuff, like my mom would be like, oh, I'll take all the kids back to my house and blah, blah. And I'd have like 10 guys at my house and we'd all be like, stay up late and fucking watch old wrestling videos and shit like that. So it was always like, I love that. I love having a lot of people around. And I think what a lot of people miss too is everyone's so obsessed with the idea of being like, I got to get married. I need to meet a significant other. But there are thousands. I mean, my mother's a perfect example, right? My mom was with my dad for 46 fucking years. My mother doesn't know another man aside from my father. I'm hoping, I still dream that my mother would, you know. But, my dad died back in 2019. And my mom, right? Like everybody's always like, I don't want to die alone. I don't want to die alone. But it's like, you're gonna everyone dies alone unless you fucking die in a car accident together or a plane crash or something. Everybody dies alone. One person's gonna die before the other. Chances are pretty good. And my mom has been without somebody for a couple of years, but it's like, what's kept her holding on and what's kept her sane is the fact that all her girlfriends, she hangs out with all these other either widowed women or my aunt or like other people. So I tell people all the time, it's like, great, have a significant other, focus on that, sure, but don't forget about everyone else. Don't forget about all your other friends, because I think people downplay friendships and how important those are, because you could live without a significant other. I don't believe you could live without good friends. Like my friends, I have some friends that like I could call and ask for anything, and it's like I wouldn't be able to pull this event off if it wasn't for the people I'm super close with. So I value that over anything. It's like my friend's kid's birthday, he has a 1-year-old. Kid's birthday is up in Connecticut, 2.5 hours away. I had work. I canceled my last 2 sessions, drove 3 hours up into fucking Connecticut, sat there for 2 hours watching a fucking 1-year-old rip presents open, and then drove back to the city. But he's like, oh man, I really appreciate you coming. I go, dude, no problem. Don was like, oh, let's do a podcast. I drove 2 hours out into Long Island. And he's like, you didn't have to come out here. I was like, dude, listen, you call me, I'm there. Like, that's how I treat all my friends. Like, I value the shit out of the people who support me and help me out. And I think more people need to, kind of start to extend that olive branch. You probably have those people in your life, but you never went that extra step for them. So do it and watch how people change. Like, the way you treat them is the way they'll treat you.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the
fantastic.
same thing. We all know what happens to those relationships where you have a dependency on that person. Like if you're an incomplete person and you've never worked on yourself, you're going to fill that hole with someone or something, drugs, even fitness. People do it with fitness all the time. That's why we always have to have that conversation with our clients who come in about, changing your mentality about what we're doing here. We're not trying to, numb your uncomfortable feelings of you failing at Cornell. Everyone has like these issues that they're just trying to cover up. We talk about it a lot on this podcast, but you actually just posted on your Q&A. What was that quote? Thich Nhat Hanh. And it was like, don't go chasing butterflies, mend your garden.
Right.
And the butterflies will.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, that's such a perfect quote, because like, it goes back to what you're saying. Like you focus on relationships of like a significant other. And it's just, the more you depend on for that one person, obviously you're going to lean on that person too much.
Well, you can't be fully present in, a good relationship if you're not whole yourself. Right.
Yes.
So you're not, it's funny. Like when you get married young, which I did, it's hard because you have to think about, a lot of times the relationships start out where, you might be, dependent, like Obi said, you're dependent on that person to complete who you are. But at some point, you both have to grow together, right? And sometimes people grow apart. So it's really, you have to figure out if that's, if you're willing to do that work. Because if you've been married as long as I have, almost 30 years, right? There's these phases of growth throughout your relationship, and there's certainly ups and downs, but you want to be a whole person in the relationship, because then you can be fully present in that relationship and you can give your partner a safe space to be truly who they are.
Well,
right?
I went and saw Jordan Peterson talk in Texas about relationships, and he had a perfect way of putting it where he said your significant other is your beneficial adversary, where you guys are making yourselves better together. Like you're holding each other accountable. It's someone that will improve you in every way. But it also is like that. I think this is another one of your quotes that you posted, but it was like, if you see a flower and you're admiring it for its beauty and you pick it, it dies. You know, if you take possession of
becoming what you found beauty in.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Look at us just giving relationship advice.
Yeah,
just a couple meatheads, you know?
No, but it's true, because I think there's so many people who like put so much credence and value into that. It's like, I need to meet someone. And I can't tell you how many fucking women I've been with who were like, oh, well, now that we're together, you need to stop doing this, 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 and this. You can't have all these friends. You can't go out all the time. And it's like, sister, you just lost me. You just lost
100%.
Any chance of me fucking wanting to be with you is completely gone out the window now. You know? Yeah. Because it's like, you should add value to my life, not take the value that I bring into life.
Yeah. Well, then they change you. I think even in his talk, Jordan's talk, he was talking about like the classic Superman Clark Kent relationship where like the woman goes after the Superman and then tries to turn him into Clark Kent. You know, like, and then it's no longer Superman. You know, it's like exactly what you're saying. It's no longer the original thing that they found attractive. So it's like,
and then they're tired of you after that. They're like, oh wait, but this isn't the guy I fell in love with. It's like, no, it's the guy you turned me into.
Well, that's a good point. But yeah, as you grow, I mean, sometimes you grow apart. You become a person that you weren't originally, you know, and that could be because you weren't getting what you needed in the relationship. But
yeah, I love that all ties into strong New York, because it's sad that it's few and far in between.
Right.
Smitty and I lament the fact that there's just not nearly as many workshops anymore. Aside from Swiss, like the amount of seminars that we used to go to. I mean, we were going to one like every other month. And it's just, you know, all the things that you miss by not being there in person.
Yes.
Exactly what you're saying.
But there's some, like, for instance, last year, right? Like, Don, I was just with Don, and we were talking. He goes, because of your event last year, he goes, me and Gunnar have started all these projects together. He's like, he's coming up, he's staying with me because we're doing this, this, and this. And he goes, I went down to his place and we did this, this, and this. He goes, and that was all started because we had never met. Both these guys have been in the industry for over 30 fucking years. And they had just met at my event last year, because I kind of stuck them together. And like now they have this like booming relationship. And here's guys, one of them's 60, the other one's fucking almost 50, you know, and now they have this friendship together, and it's developing into so much more. And that's the opportunity that you miss just by like never going to these things, right? You miss out on that opportunity to create a real relationship with somebody that like you might admire, you've seen before, you know, somebody you may not ever even expect to meet. Like I'm excited to go to Swiss, and like I'm sure we'll all go to dinner and we'll hang out and stuff. But like the actual event, it's like we're sitting there quiet listening to people. It's like I love that as an industry professional. I want to go and learn. But for the average person, what do they have to go to? It's like you go to the gym, you go to class, and then it's like kind of fucking whatever. You know, I want this. So we have like a mini competition that we did last year that I want to kind of blow up a little bit, give people the opportunity. It's like push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, kettlebell swings, rower, bikes, simple shit that everybody could do, where it's like you have the opportunity to win some money, test your strength, just see how you match up against other people. You get to go and try all this other stuff with other people. Like it's just a day to interact. Like there's nothing else like it. So I wanted to create this event that people could experience all these things and potentially meet new friends or, you know, create new relationships throughout this thing.
Well, isn't it funny that like the two coaches could have just DM'd each other on Instagram, but just going all the way to New York and going to this event is what bonded them. And
for sure.
I think there's another aspect of social media where it's almost like seeing someone on a TV where like they're not real to you. And then you see them in person, you see what they're accomplishing. And it's like working out with someone that's stronger. You see someone squat 405 for the first time in person, you're working out with them. All of a sudden 365 is now a possibility for you. And it's like you go to those seminars, you see what all these people are doing, in their gyms and their respective fields, and it just lights a fire in you, you know?
Yeah. And dude, listen, there's a magic that happens at these events. And I'm not just saying my event, at all these events where you're around all these other people who are kind of share the same ideas, and you start fucking rapping and creating content and working together with people. You know, it's like when somebody gives you a warm welcome. Could I go and reach out to someone you guys have in your network and be like, hey, I'm friends with so and so? It's a different story if Smitty, hits up whoever it may be and is like, hey, I'm really good friends with Kenny. He's my boy. Could you hook him up with this, that, or the other thing? Or like even today, like one of my friends has opened up a gym and he's like, hey, do you have a good guy for insurance? I was like, I have the best guy. And he happens to be a good friend of mine outside of work. And I was like, yeah. I was like, listen, this is my boy. Take care of him. He's a good guy. And he's like, no problem. He's like, I'll give him the same discount I gave you. Like, it's a different story when you meet somebody in person or you have that warm connection with somebody through someone that they already trust.
Yeah. It's 0% surprising that an Italian dude in New York City knows a guy in insurance, but
waste management. Yeah. Well, I've told this story a lot to Obi and certainly on the podcast, but back in the day, like early 2000s, late 1990s, I was in it and we were doing, going to seminars like every other weekend. And that's where those relationships were built. Like I met, Cosgrove 25 years ago, Ferrugia 25, Joe D, early 2000s, like all these relationships were built at an in-person conference or seminar. But like you said, like Gunnar and Don, they have this joint venture now. Like that's where these relationships, and you don't even know where they're going to go, but just meeting that person makes it real. You know what I mean? That relationship. And that's to Obi's
well, it's like
point.
what we were talking, sorry, I thought you were stopping there, but right before we hit record, I was checking my email. And I know you get this, Kenny, but I get like 30 emails a day between the gym and the podcast of people selling marketing services, video editing, social media management.
Don't get me fucking started on that. I have a fucking nightmare about that.
Oh, no way. Did you actually take someone up on that?
Oh, God. I'm such a fucking idiot. I kick myself every day for this shit.
Someone in India took your social security number?
No, I wish it was a fucking guy in India because then I wouldn't be able to get in touch with him. No, it's a fucking one of these jerk off charlatans who fucking sell shit here, just like marketing bullshit. And it's like, it's a long story. We'll talk about it offline because I'm still fucking.
Dude, people talk about fitness and like grifters and stuff. Marketing is by far the worst. Am I wrong? I mean, I feel like everyone in marketing is a scam artist.
Oh, it's just all such fucking empty fucking bullshit promises and stuff. So,
yeah.
Well, so you talked about Don, you talked about Gunnar. They're going to be, you said the format is more like a TED Talk, which is amazing because I think people's attention span nowadays is terrible. But who are some of the other speakers that are coming in? Like, who are you looking forward to hearing?
So I have this guy, Dr. Lee, who's wrote 2 New York Times bestsellers on, kind of healing yourself through your diet. He works with a lot of different big celebrities and stuff, so I'm excited to hear him. I have this other girl. You guys should definitely check her out. She's from Florida. She's a neuroscientist. Her name's M on her Instagram handle is M on the Brain. And just her delivery, I mean, she's fucking gorgeous on top of being super intelligent. But her delivery on kind of very complex ideas of like depression and why you feel certain ways, or like how hunger affects your mood, or how being tired makes you feel a certain way towards certain people, like all those things, how like the chemistry in your brain kind of affects a lot of the decisions that we make. So awesome. I'm very interested in hearing her talk. I'm bringing back the fittest doc. So he's a guy I know through the CrossFit space who he did a talk last year. He's doing another one this year on metabolic training and how it affects diet and things like that. I'm interested to hear Adam's chat on, kind of his book and what he's been working on, Adam Bornstein. So yeah, I mean, there's a ton of people. CT Fletcher is going to kind of give a kind of pump up speech. He's going to, kind of kick the day off. So I'm excited to hear what he's got to say. And I haven't chatted with him. I interviewed him a couple of years ago at the CrossFit Games, but I haven't chatted with him in a while. So we got him coming out. We got a couple surprise guests coming. You know, even for myself, I got a lot of people kind of waiting in the wings to see if they're, you know, they have other things going on. But it's going to be an interesting day. We got a lot of people. I'm flying a lot of people in, and it's going to be a fun day. You know, and it's just like I said. I mean, it's not even about the people that I have coming. Obviously, that's kind of draws people in, but it's the opportunity to be around other people who are similar to you, other professionals, other, you know, just average Joes who just want to hang out and work out and meet new people and just enjoy the day, right? Like people make everything special. It's funny because I just went to go see, and it was a great lesson from, you know, an okay movie. So the new Exorcist, you guys see it yet?
No.
Okay, so I'm a huge horror movie guy. I love horror movies and shit. And the first Exorcist, for the longest time, was the scariest movie I've ever seen. They just came out with this new one, The Believer, it's called, and they bring back the original woman from the first one. And the story she tells is she's like, you know what? She goes, in every religion, there's some form of uh, you know, exorcism procedure that they all follow. She's like, but in every religion, the one thing that stays consistent is the people, right? Like you can't have a faith or a community or any type of belief system without other people, right? You need other people around to make it good, to make it worthwhile. You know, living in the city, I tell people all the time, it's like, they're like, why do you live in New York? I go, well, there's a reason why 8 million people live in a fucking 4x4 area, you know, because if space is all people wanted, then why wouldn't everybody live in Wyoming, right? Or Montana, right? The bigger places in the country are underdeveloped and nobody's really there. Whereas like you have all these people stuffed in one place, not because the amenities or the, you know, the apartments, because that all sucks. We all put up with the bullshit to be around other people. There's something comforting when you know there's other people around. You don't even have to talk to them. You don't even have to be around them. But knowing there's other people around brings us comfort, right? We're a tribal creature. We want to be around other people. So I think the specialness is, you know, and I keep telling people, I'm like, I want as many people there as I possibly can. I've given away a couple hundred tickets already. I invited a bunch of people. I want people to be there. I want people to experience this because I know the more people that are there, the more special this becomes.
Yeah, there's like a law of numbers where like the more like people I do believe are naturally good. And you know, the more people you have, it kind of balances the scales. It's the same thing with, like with your classes. I'm sure you recognize it. Like when there's a packed gym, the energy is just so much better. You know,
Yeah,
like the rising tide raises us all. You know, if there's a bunch of people, even if there's 5 people out of 20 having a good time, it just naturally feels better. You know, that's
100%, dude. There's 2 or 3 people in my gym. It's like I love when they walk through the door because they just put me at ease and they make me feel comfortable. And I'm a pretty comfortable. Like, not many things make me uncomfortable, but you know, knowing that certain people are around, I just feel better. I get in a better mood, and I know everyone has that person. And I hope more people have more people in their lives like that. Because you know, there's days I'm like, I fucking hate people. I wish more people would have fucking died during COVID. You know, you get frustrated with people and shit. But at the same time,
Cut
it's
that
like,
out of
demonetized.
I've definitely said that before a couple times and got a couple weird looks. But you know, like we all get frustrated, right? Anybody who says they've never been like fed up with fucking their lives or their day, you know, is a liar, right? We all have ups and downs. 99% of the time, I fucking love having people around. I want my gym to be full. I want the event to be full. I want more people to be out at bars, hanging out. I want people to enjoy life. The more people enjoying life, the better the world works, right? All this shit that is going on in Israel and, you know, Gaza and stuff. It's just, there are so many people who are just like, if people were out enjoying their lives, they wouldn't be doing all this other shit. You have to be such a sick motherfucker to do some of the shit that's going on over there. And it's just like, if they were enjoying their families and stuff, they're like, well, I don't want to risk losing my family or missing out on an opportunity to be around these people to go and fucking terrorize somebody else. Like, it's so
Yeah.
crazy to me. So it's like the more people I could get to enjoy life and be happy in their own skin, the better the world works. You know, and if I could contribute to that just a little bit, I'm fucking happy. It gets me excited. I genuinely get
Absolutely.
excited about it.
Well, we do want to say thank you because last time we came out for Strong New York, we're treated like VIPs. You left us tickets up front. We got the
Those
swag
water
back.
bottles were banging.
I'm still using it today.
Yeah.
So you know how to do an event right. When is Strong New York?
Strong New York is on November 18th. If you guys come in the night early, I'd be happy to take you guys to the VIP dinner. We're going to have like a kind of a mastermind VIP dinner. We're partnered with City Harvest, which is a huge charity here in New York, and we're going to try to raise $5,000 for City Harvest. Probably even if we could get more people involved, maybe raise a little bit more cash. But they're giving us a celebrity chef for the night, and he's going to cook a great meal at a rooftop spot that a friend of mine owns here in the city. And it'll be a chance for like all the VIPs and the speakers and presenters to kind of mingle and network and hang out the night before and kind of get excited about the event. And then we'll all be at the event the next day.
Great. Well, let us know how to promote the charity as well. I mean, we can push it on our social and anything you need for that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We have a link on the Instagram page, but I can send you guys that. But, just having you guys there, I mean, obviously, like, it makes me feel like it legitimizes my event that I have two guys who, I see at all these other events that I admire what you guys have done and, the paths you guys have paved for a lot of trainers and fitness industry people. Thank you guys for even considering coming again.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We'll be there.
So the website, strongnewyork.com.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else you want to let the audience know?
No, I listen, you don't have to be in the industry to enjoy this event.
You don't have to be a coach or a trainer if you're a lifter who just wants to level up.
Yeah. And if you want to, bring your kids, bring your wife, have a day to like kind of just hang out and mess around, like, use a lot of the tools and the experiences.
Tons of vendors. Yeah.
Yeah. We have over almost 50 vendors right now.
Wow.
Everything from recovery shoes to meal prep companies to, drinks and food. And, afterwards I have my buddy's got a burger company called the Gotham Burger Club. He's just putting a restaurant on the Lower East Side, and he does these smash burgers that are fucking unreal, like unreal. And he's going to be coming and doing burgers and stuff afterwards. We have a couple beverage companies. I got Michelob Ultra, obviously, as usual, because they're a sponsor of mine. We got Melon, which is my hat company that we work with.
Here.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the...
It's a great hat. It's my favorite hat.
It's the best hats in the game. So, they'll be there. So everything and anything. I mean, you'll find something. Like we were saying before, I got Matt Vincent coming. He's going to have his brand there. So it's going to be a lot of opportunity to do, like, we'll have breath work. And, I promise, if anybody out there comes to the event and goes, I didn't get 1 ounce of value out of that, then I'll happily give you your money back. But you will find something or someone that really, kind of sets a fire in your belly and helps you move on and do something better with your life.
Yeah, I actually have a note on my iPhone from that event, from all those talks that I still reference to this day. It was like a very short span, but I just got so much knowledge that I've implemented and used in my business since then. So absolutely worth it. Yeah, we'll definitely be there.
Cool.
Great event too. I mean, it's super fun.
Boys, thank you so much.
Absolutely, man.
Kenny, you're the best, man.
Thank you guys.
Well, appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys.
I was about to get emotional. Kenny's great, and we appreciate his friendship over the years. But I really connect with people who connect with people. So
that's absolutely true. So thank you so much, man. We'll put this out on YouTube, Spotify. We'll promote the event, and we'll definitely see you there. And we'll see you in a couple of days.
Yeah, I'll see you guys on Thursday.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy.
All right, boys. Take care. Bye.
Good job.